God damn it. Okay, so my hair just doesn't want to work with me anymore. And the lighting issue is back. God damn it. Oh, how I've missed doing this. Yeah. Today I'm gonna review a game that was actually recommended to me by my father, my dad. So that's and I really do like these types of games. I'm gonna change position so that I can do more hand gestures. I think it's important to not look completely dead when you're doing this, because yeah, that's a lot of people fall into that trap when doing stuff like this. They just like, you know, I can't really talk since I have a mask on. I always look emotionless and dead inside when I'm wearing this. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's good for branding to have, you know, gimmick, even though having a mask on isn't exactly the most original gimmick. I still think having sort of the design of it makes for like an interesting catch in a way. I can use it for a lot of, like, for example, logo for channel, um, and I also use it for my thumbnails, which I'm actually very proud of them. I really like the template. It's very nice. Also, on this one, there, I don't know what I'm gonna do with the music. Editor's note, whatever you say. With a little, like, I talked about it with my dad when it comes to music, and I think I came to the conclusion that I will continue using the music from the actual games, just because legal rights is really annoying and I can't really be bothered to find like a bunch of tracks that fit the theme and that are flexible enough. It's just actually easier to get the music for games. It's still gonna be really annoying, but I can't really. Yeah, I decided to put music in, and now I can't really go back on that. But anyway, very good game. It's I feel very confident in saying that it has a large amount of potential, and the strategy and the gimmick elements of it make for a very addicting experience. Yeah, let's just. You're probably tired of seeing my non existent face, so I can't snap, so, same editing stuff as, like, how many times have I done it? Yeah, I have about the memory span of a dead goldfish. So, let's just gameplay. I'm not gonna say the thing about editing magic, like, I think for the third time. Yeah, you're not gonna get that. Yeah. Now you can probably see that the gameplay it probably doesn't look too involved, but it has a large amount of strategy. You have 3 classes. You unlock them gradually, but there's only 3, and you knock all of them pretty early on. So I don't feel too like it's not really a spoiler. I won't talk anything about the story because I barely understand it myself. I don't really play this game for the story. I don't play too many games for the story. I play some, but if the gameplay's fun, I might just play for the gameplay. So it's sort of, the premise is the entire world has sort of been forgotten. It's been lost, and your job is to try to piece it back together, try to find out who did it. How do you get it back to being normal? How do you save the world? And it sort of focuses on this aspect with, you start off on a circle or some other shape, box, a loop, a thing that goes into that ends up in itself. It's a ring in a way. So you just walk in one direction. You don't control that. You walk automatically. You can click a button to stop time, so that you can place down these cards, which you you make the path where you want to go. You have some areas that spawn enemies. You have some areas that don't spawn enemies. You have some areas that help you, some areas that help you, but a little more passive aggressively. Like some things, they help you in battle, but they spawn enemies as well. Pretty dangerous enemies. And you have combinations of cards. Like, for example, a village is something I don't know if you get it. I don't remember if you get it immediately. I don't think so, but you get it very early on. Don't tell anyone that I told you this, but if you put it next to the vampire, something very spooky will happen. I don't know if I'm showing it in the gameplay because I forgot what the gameplay was. I do know that I play with First Warrior, which is your starting class. And in my opinion, or at least my favorite one, it's just your classic warrior, but with a little more twists on it. It's focused around survival, not dealing too much damage in the beginning, even though that does happen a lot. It's more focused on trying to survive, which fits very well with one of its special abilities, which is for every second you spend in battle, your damage increases by 2%. And you have things like vampirism, which, you guessed it, it makes it so that when you hit someone, you gain a percentage of the damage you did as life. And you're sort of focusing around trying to survive for as long as possible, so that you gradually deal more and more damage. And then you have Thief, which is their abilities are mostly focused around trying to just a critical hit, which is a special thing they have. They deal as much damage as possible. You're only focusing on that, really. Try to kill your enemies as early as possible, and try to have as much attack speed and critical hit chance and rate and damage as possible. You start off with 10% vampirism, which isn't very good, and it's barely noticeable, but it's all about dealing damage, and obviously having some health to keep yourself alive, because there aren't very many healing options in battle with the Thief. Then the last one, which in my opinion is the most unbalanced one. The other two feel good, and they have very interesting gimmicks. I forgot about the Thief. They don't collect gear in battle, they collect trophies from enemies, and when they reach sort of the end of the loop, where you always regain like a large percentage of your health, just so that you sort of restart and the enemies get harder. When you get there, all of the shards that you collected when you're the Thief get made into gear, which is, it's very interesting and sort of makes it so that you can really just watch YouTube, watch this video, go watch my other videos maybe, as you're sort of playing that character. So just in the loop, you don't really have to worry about a lot of things. Most of the sort of strategizing comes after the loop, when you're finished with the loop, because you can put on settings. I would very much recommend this, that whenever you finish a loop, it immediately pauses, because you collect loot to upgrade your camp along the way. I'll get to that later, but you really do want to quit while you're at the end of the loop. Then we have Necromancer, which is, they start off extremely powerful, and they summon, instead of fighting directly, they summon skeletons to fight for you. And this is the last class you unlock, which in my opinion is slightly disappointing, because it's my least favorite class. I really love the premise, I think it's a great concept, but I just think it sort of fell off with the execution. God, my lighting it's just getting darker. You probably can't see it. Hopefully I also look like a duck. I don't, but through this mask, I think, yeah, I'm starting to get slightly tired of talking. I didn't get much sleep last night, so let's just hurry through the Necromancer. So what you're gonna do is you spawn in, you get your Skelebros, and you start upgrading them. But you can upgrade quality and level of the skeletons, this is something you have to balance a lot. But it feels very hard to balance it, because immediately when you get like a good quality rating on your skeletons, the level just starts to dip. The level suffers a lot for this, which is really annoying. And you also have to upgrade the capacity, like the amount of skeletons you can have, which in this game you can't upgrade your loot, you can replace it, which gets very, very annoying. And all these classes have different sorts of slots. It only gets annoying on the Necromancer. The other ones I'm like, yeah, I can do with a lower level ring as long as it gives me high vampirism on my warrior and stuff like that. And all of them have different sort of rarities, like for example the gray ones, the gray loot, that's your basic stuff, and it usually deals the most flat damage, but it doesn't really have any interesting buffs around it. So for example, if I have a sword that deals 19 to 25 damage, that's let's say it's level 3, maybe 5, I don't remember levels, let's say it's level 5. Then you pick up a level 5 orange sword. This one is a rapier. It gives you, let's say, 5% vampirism, but instead of dealing 19 to 25 damage, it would only deal, let's say, 18 to 24. No, not 18 to 24. Maybe like 17 to 23, which that's a 2 damage debuff, but you're gonna, so which one are you gonna pick? And it gets, which I think is actually really interesting, and I really like that. On the Necromancer though, it gets very annoying because you want the straight buff to your skeleton's level, and every time you don't pick it, your skeletons get kind of weaker, every time you disregard your skeleton's level. And also it has a very fun ability, enemies' power grow 2% more every loop, which just makes it so that you start off super powerful and then you end up very underpowered, and it's just all around not a very balanced character in my opinion, and it's very hard to sort of get all this to work. But that's enough of a charade about Necromancer. In general, just don't play it if you don't wanna. If you find a way to make it work, good for you. You can go around playing it. I just wouldn't get your hopes up for like having 3 playable characters. In my opinion, there's only really 2. But I haven't really looked up any reviews because that would ruin the entire point of a review. A review isn't exactly about echoing other people's opinions. It's about forming your own opinion based on what you hear. And also the light is only getting darker and darker, which at this point it will probably just be a black screen at the end of this thing. And now it's getting lighter again. Okay, so God just hates me apparently. Anyway, let's get over to the gameplay. It works on this loot basis. You upgrade cards, you combo them, you get more loot. You have materials and you have like gear. Materials, you keep them. You get them back to your camp where you can permanently upgrade things. It's a roguelite. Who would have thought that Shady YT would review a roguelite? That's incredible. I'm shocked. Yeah, I'll make the next video on Sea of Thieves. It's not a roguelite, probably Sea of Thieves. But obviously we have that. Then we get over to sort of the materials, yes. The materials you collect, you can use them to upgrade your camp. You get increased everything, you get increased damage, potions that can heal you mid-battle, better potions, more cards to play around with. You establish a deck beforehand, and when you fight monsters, you gain cards. And these cards can range anything from, they can help you directly, indirectly. You can place them on the path, or besides the path, or not on the path, on the side. And you can just play around with it. You can farm for different types of resources, which you can use to upgrade your camp. Build a blacksmith, herb house, mud hut, watchtower, all of these different things. And you sort of piece it together, make a build which you like, you defeat a boss, you can play around with a lot of different things, and it's just all around a great experience. I would say that at account of it's a different type of playing to games like Hades, so it's kind of hard for me to rank it because I don't generally really enjoy these sort of slower paced, a little more hands-off gameplay. I like a lot more first-person shooters. They're a little hard to sort of rank. I've been getting a lot into Halo again recently. Destiny 2, it's a drug for me. And I don't want to go to rehab for it. But in general, I really like it. I think it's great for what it is, and the art style and the whole vibe of it fits incredibly well. It's a very, let's say, compact game, where it doesn't set out to do a giant thing. It doesn't set out to do like a completely new thing. It's sort of like Beat Saber, but not really, because Beat Saber is a little more simplistic, but also very well done. In this case, it's very well done, and it has a lot of depth out of very little. It's like if like an open world game, I would call that a big pool, but usually they can be kind of shallow, maybe 2 meters to the bottom, which isn't a lot. That's open world games. In this case, it's maybe like a private pool, a semi-small private pool. Let's say if an open world game is like really big, I would say that this is maybe 4 by 6 meters, maybe 4 by 4 meters, but it's like 4 meters deep. So you have a lot of content in such a small package, which is very... I don't have a private pool, by the way, and I'm bad at counting length, so yeah, don't take everything I say in analogies with a grain of salt, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to sort of give forth my take on it in a way that's way easier than just that's like more intelligent than just saying game's good, please buy, which isn't exactly... I don't want to go for that type of review. So anyway, I was about to say I'll cut back to my face cam, but then the lights went dark. Not really, just the camera decided, nah, I'm gonna be dark for now. So thank you for that, Mr. Camera. And yeah, it's getting lighter. I'll cut back to the camera now. Beep. Miss me? Probably didn't. You were probably just enjoying the gameplay. Yeah. I'm sorry. But I think it's about time to wrap it up. I have a lot of fun making these. It's just I have problems with starting things, and I have problems with quitting things. So, for example, at one point I sat just 4 hours in a row editing on uh, like a Sunday, I think, middle of the day, just editing for 4 hours straight until I got a migraine, which isn't very good, and I couldn't edit for the rest of the day. That was my last video. And I'm already starting to get a little sick, so I think I'm about to have another migraine. Probably from staring blankly into my screen for a lot of time now. So anyway, I'll make this as quick as possible. I'd give the game, let's say a 7 out of 10. I forgot all of the other scores. Let me just veto every single one of them. None of the previous scores are correct. I might actually go back to Hades just to give it a proper actual review, because I feel like I did it an injustice in the last one. And the screen's getting lighter again. Probably gonna go dark real soon, so don't get used to it. Anyway, I'd give this a 7 out of 10. 7 or 6. It doesn't strive to be something giant, which is, it's hard to sort of review something like that, because I can't really say the content in the game is lacking, because it's not. I can say that it isn't trying to do anything to be extremely versatile. It's just trying to do one thing well, and make that sort of deep, which is hard to give a rating for. So I'd give it about a 7 in my opinion. No game is a 10, so that's sort of like an 8 if you look at someone that actually picks 10s, because the perfect game hasn't been made yet, and it will never be made. So that's really it. I'm signing out. I'm gonna review this. I'm gonna edit this tomorrow. I'm starting to get really tired now. Yeah. See you in the last one. Next one, and go watch my other videos again. Do it. And if you don't, I won't know. So please do it. And also, the game's pretty good. You should look at the price. I wouldn't compare it to a AAA game, but I would compare it to something like Noira, in the way that they're about equal in content to a certain extent, but they're very different genres. So pick your poison when it comes to roguelites and roguelike. And that's really it. Like, comment, subscribe. If you find this, thank God. I hope it's starting to grow. I hope this channel will actually at some point start to gain subscribers. So, just, if you found this, if you don't know me personally, please subscribe, and please comment something. You can't post links, because the last time someone posted spam, just a random bot, and I'm a little too scared of that. So don't advertise, don't be a dick, be a normal human being. I won't do my last intro, so just CL.